Good morning and welcome to Hot Topic and Fresh News. Today, July 18, 2024, tensions escalate along the Israeli-Lebanese border. Hezbollah's leader, Hasan Nasrallah, has threatened to target new areas in Israel if Israeli military actions against civilians in southern Lebanon do not cease. This statement was made during a broadcast on Ashura, marking a significant day of mourning in the Shiite Muslim community. Meanwhile, Israeli military strategists have been contemplating a Lebanon offensive for some months, though both parties have shown interest in a diplomatic resolution. In related developments, Israel's Knesset has passed a resolution opposing the foundation of a Palestinian state, intensifying the geopolitical controversy. This comes alongside the distressing news from Gaza, where at least 28 people were killed in recent Israeli strikes. The humanitarian situation worsens as the United States ceases its aid delivery efforts through a proposed floating pier. On a diplomatic front, Noah Argamani, a hostage recently rescued, is set to join Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on his forthcoming trip to the United States, aiming to address Congress. These are today's crucial updates, each pointing to a broader narrative of conflict and diplomacy in the region. Stay tuned for detailed analysis and expert insights as we continue to monitor these unfolding events. Good morning, listeners. This is Emily, your host on Hot Topic and Fresh News.
And this is David.
We're thrilled to have you with us today. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to stay updated with the latest. Straight to the hot topics.
Could you elaborate on the significance of Ashura in this context and why Hasan Nasrallah chose this day to deliver his threats?
Ashura is a day of mourning observed by Shiite Muslims, marking the martyrdom of Hussein ibn Ali, a pivotal figure in Islam. Nasrallah's choice to announce these threats on Ashura could be seen as a symbolic gesture aiming to rally support and underscore the perceived injustices against his group, aligning Hezbollah's cause with historical Shiite grievances.
What could be the implications of Nasrallah's warning about targeting new Israeli settlements?
This threat signifies a potential escalation in the conflict. By targeting new areas, Hezbollah aims to spread uncertainty and fear across a wider range of Israeli communities, possibly straining Israel's defense resources and impacting the broader Israeli public more directly than before.
With the ongoing exchanges of fire, what's the status of the diplomatic efforts to establish a ceasefire?
Both sides have expressed a preference for a diplomatic solution amidst ongoing military confrontations. International actors, including the United States, are actively trying to broker a truce. However, the repeated escalations and Hezbollah's condition that they will not stop attacks until there is a ceasefire in Gaza complicates these efforts significantly.
Nasrallah also mentioned a severe impact on Israel's economy due to other regional conflicts. Can you touch on that?
Yes, he referred to attacks on shipping in the Red Sea by the Iranian-aligned Houthi movement, which have disrupted trade routes and caused economic repercussions. These attacks, coupled with military expenditures and increased defense alertness, are likely straining Israel's economy, as Nasrallah claimed.
How serious is the situation regarding Israeli military injuries?
Nasrallah stated that thousands of Israeli soldiers have suffered injuries, with over 600 seriously wounded. This highlights not only the physical toll of the ongoing conflict but also the potential long-term impact on the Israeli military's morale and capabilities.
With several targets hit in southern Lebanon by the Israel Defense Forces, can you explain the strategic implications of these strikes?
The strikes are likely a response to Hezbollah's aggression and serve as a message that Israel will retaliate against any threats to its security. Strategically, these actions aim to weaken Hezbollah's capabilities and deter further attacks, though they also risk escalating tensions further.
The Knesset recently passed a resolution opposing the foundation of a Palestinian state. What does this signify in the current political climate?
This resolution marks a significant hardening of stance by Israel's parliament. In the wake of the recent attacks, it seems to reflect a growing sentiment that a Palestinian state could pose a security threat, directly associating statehood with the actions of militant groups. This could further complicate peace efforts in the region.
Concerning the hostages, the Prime Minister's comments have sparked outrage. How does this impact the public perception and the hostages' families?
The Prime Minister's remarks were seen as insensitive, particularly by the families of the hostages, who are already under tremendous stress. Publicly downplaying the severity of the hostages' conditions could erode trust in the government's handling of the situation and its commitment to securing their safe return. On a personal note, I believe that while the Prime Minister's comments may have been tactically aimed at maintaining a negotiating position, they were poorly timed and lacked compassion. In situations like these, transparent and empathetic communication is crucial.
But isn't it possible that by revealing too much, the government might undermine its leverage in negotiations?
That's a valid point. However, there's a fine line between strategic communication and appearing dismissive of human suffering. In this case, I think the balance tipped too far towards the latter.
I see your point, and I apologize for my initial skepticism. It's clear that sensitivity in communication should indeed be prioritized in such delicate situations. Thank you for that perspective. The U.S. has concluded its aid mission through a floating pier in Gaza. What were the challenges it faced, and why was it considered necessary?
The floating pier was a unique and complex solution to the severe restrictions on land-based aid deliveries in Gaza, primarily due to Israeli concerns about security. Despite its innovative nature, the project encountered logistical challenges and delays, which hampered its efficiency, but ultimately, it did manage to provide essential food supplies to the Gazans.
Human Rights Watch has released a damning report on the October 7 attack. Could you detail some of the findings?
Certainly. The report described the assault as systematic and accused Hamas and other groups of committing war crimes, including deliberate attacks on civilians, using civilians as human shields, and other inhumane acts. Such accusations intensify the scrutiny on Hamas's tactics and raise serious international law implications.
With the staggering number of casualties reported in Gaza, how is this impacting the broader geopolitical landscape?
The reported numbers, over 38,794 killed and 89,364 injured, are shocking and have intensified global outcry and demands for a ceasefire. The magnitude of these casualties not only puts pressure on Israel but also on international actors to reconsider their strategies and possibly intervene more assertively.
There was a correction regarding the Prime Minister's comments. How does such misinformation affect public trust in international relations?
Misinformation, especially in such volatile contexts, can significantly impact public trust, both domestically and internationally. Corrections are crucial for maintaining credibility, but the initial damage, particularly in delicate situations like hostage negotiations, can cause lasting harm to both public perception and diplomatic relations.
As we look to the future, what should we expect next in this ongoing conflict?
The situation remains fluid and highly unpredictable. Diplomatic efforts will likely intensify, but the possibility of further military escalation cannot be ruled out. The international community's response in the coming weeks will be critical in shaping the course of events. It's crucial that all parties involved consider the humanitarian implications of their actions and work towards a resolution that prioritizes the safety and well-being of civilians. Thanks for tuning into Hot Topic and Fresh News today. We've delved deep into the recent developments at the Israel-Lebanon border and the humanitarian situation in Gaza. It's been great having you all here. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any episodes. Trust me, it means the world to us. Share our channel with your news junkie friends on WhatsApp, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and even over dinner with your family or drinks with friends. If you enjoyed our discussion, drop a comment.
And remember, we're here to brighten up your news feed with insights and, occasionally, a bit of humor. We broadcast every day, so make sure you tune in. There's always something interesting on the horizon that you won't want to miss.
We're truly grateful for your continued support and engagement. Looking forward to bringing you more compelling content next time.
Absolutely, our next episode is just around the corner, and we can't wait to share it with you all.
Stay in the loop, keep your eyes on the news, our channel's content will amuse.